Well, how do there, chums? 'Tis I, Captain Steve, and today, chums, I have a speculation video, but not really necessarily about No Man's Sky, but what Hello Games might be working on as their new ambitious title with Inside of the Verse, people. So hopefully you guys in the viewerverse are quite accustomed to these terminals that you sometimes find behind Atlas Pass free doors, which give you a little snippet of lore called the Remembrance Lore. Yeah. And inside of this Remembrance Lore, there's a few sort of odd suggestions where the sort of iteration breaches the third wall. So what I mean by that is it's actually the developer of the Atlas, the person that created the simulation, interfacing with the Atlas to tell the Atlas that they're now embarking on a new simulation and taking all the work that they knew from the Atlas and putting it into their new simulation that they're building. So I've been talking to good old Scottish Rod, and he seems to think around the same sort of lines as myself. We were just bouncing ideas off of one another and sort of in agreement that this could be what is happening. I mean, Hello Games are working on this procedural engine, and No Man's Sky was their testbed of said procedural engine, which they've built from the ground up. So it doesn't seem to me, or to him, Scottish Rod, that they would abandon this sort of simulation idea or the procedural engine that they've built up so nicely during No Man's Sky. And even though Shaun of the Murrays himself has said we're not making a sequel to No Man's Sky 2, it's something that's equally as ambitious, if not more so ambitious than No Man's Sky. I mean, this is coming from the same chap who actually told people in interviews that in No Man's Sky, when you get to the centre of the universe to get all your questions answered, it's not going to be a simple case that you get pulled back to the start and have to start all over again. He said that. And yet what happened? So, I don't know. So my feeling is that they've dropped subtle hints into the actual game lore to hint what their new project is. I mean, that would be freaking genius if they have. And if they haven't, it's a missed opportunity. But you know what I mean? It does make you wonder. When you're reading this text below me right now, read it and see if you think that there might be some subtle hints there about what might be happening with Hello Games. Now, I have done another video around about what my speculation might be around what the new title may look like. Yes, because if you look up some of the artists that work at Hello Games, including Beau Lamb being the main key person and individual that shares his artwork out there on ArtStation, I put a video in the top right hand corner so you can go hit that up to have a look at some of his most recent of doodles, because it almost looks like Skyrim in space. It's like a fantasy RPG based in space. So, you know, you've got swords or giant axe type wielding things and hammers, but in a spacey sort of universe, and you can traverse in ships. It looks very cool. I'd imagine if they are working on something like that, it's going to be freaking mind-blowingly awesome. I mean, kind of Star Wars is kind of that way, isn't it? With Jedi Knights, and they've got sort of, you know, magical skills. They use the Force. But, you know, imagine a space game with magic, with that sort of level of scope. Oh, that'd be freaking magical. Anyway, hit up that video that I put in the top right-hand corner, if you haven't already, and give that a watch. But yeah, I am thinking, and also when I've been speaking to others, not just Scottish Rod, but other people that I play online with or have like little party chats with, or some of my super members, are sort of saying, well, it would be weird if they completely abandoned the whole procedural engine, or even the idea or premise of No Man's Sky, now that it's been built up so well. I mean, how often is it that when a company has a decent franchise that they drop it after the first iteration? It just doesn't really happen. I mean, yes, we've only had Skyrim 1, but we have had DLC packs and things added into Skyrim, and it hasn't really changed. But, you know, any other sort of products out there on the actual market, they usually have a sequel or a prequel or something, some sort of spin-off, you know? It'd be a bit odd if Hello Games just said, right, yeah, we're done with this whole space adventure and stuff. I think the next game will probably still be an open universe. I mean, if they're saying that it's as ambition, if not more so. I mean, what can be more ambitious than a whole freaking procedurally generated universe, I ask thee? I mean, it's freaking bonkers, isn't it? Surely there's nothing more ambitious than a procedurally generated universe unless you stick freaking dragons in it and magic and freaking lightsabers and make it like a Star Warsy type Lord of the Rings spin-off. But no, we're going to have to keep our eyes peeled on the horizon, chums. Heck yes, we are. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts, your speculation, people out there in the viewerverse, because yeah, talking to content creators and No Man's Sky fans, they seem to think that it'd be a little bit odd if it was dropped. So yeah, please leave your thoughts and feelings inside the comments, whether you think that I might be onto something here. Yeah, until next time, people, you've all been freaking awesome. Goodbye, and goodbye again. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see, please hit a like and a subscribe, and I'd like to say a massive great big thank you to all of my backers over on Patreon and over on YouTube membership. Thanking you, backers! And if you want to support this channel, just don't skip the adverts. That throws revenue down my avenue. Or yeah, just stay with Captain Steve that little bit longer and hit something on this screen. There's merch here now too.